A federal judge has paused the Trump administration's plan to cut thousands of workers from USAID's workforce and speed up evacuations of personnel overseas, at least until midnight next Friday. Originally, those workers were set to be placed on leave as of midnight yesterday. The judge ruled that all USAID employees on administrative leave must be reinstated for now. This is a temporary win for our system of checks and balances, but make no mistake about it, this attempted purge at USAID is one of many moves by the Trump administration. In response, the nonprofit advocacy group Public Citizens has filed multiple lawsuits to challenge Trump and Elon Musk's efforts to reshape our government. They've sued DOJ, the Treasury Department, the Office of Personnel Management, and the Department of Education, among others. Joining me now is Robert Weissman, co-president of Public Citizen. Robert, it's great to have you on the show. First, let me start with your response to the judge's decision yesterday to pause the Trump administration's attempted purge of USAID. Your organization filed the lawsuit over the effort to put thousands of workers on leave this week. How significant is this temporary pause? And what does it tell us about the efficacy or perhaps limits of our current guardrails?
It's just a temporary restraining order. We're going to have to get a permanent injunction to uphold the law. We're having Musk and Trump pursuing lawless activity, lawless and unconstitutional activity, and we're going to have to rely on the courts to bring them to heel, and we intend to do just that. I do think the lawsuits are not everything, and we can't stop everything they're going to do with lawsuits, but they're a vital tool both to stop what they're doing and also inspire people that resistance, standing up, makes a difference.
What is the legal argument that you made that allowed you to get this temporary order that could potentially become a permanent one?
It's really simple. USAID, the International Agency for Humanitarian Work, was created by Congress. It is funded by Congress. President can't just decide to close it down. Elon Musk definitely can't just decide to close it down. This is like, 11th grade civics, 5th grade civics, schoolhouse rock. So we're charging that they're violating the separation of powers. The president is violating his duty to take care that the laws are enforced. And we expect the judge to side with us ultimately.
How does it play out next? I mean, walk us through a little bit of the timeline. Is this something you suspect will go all the way up to the Supreme Court?
Well, we're a little ways away from that. We're going to be back in court next week, where the judge is going to consider it for a longer injunction, and the government will have more opportunity to defend what it's doing. They were a little bit at a loss to explain the rationale for what they're doing. Then the judge will issue an order that hopefully permanently enjoins the shutdown of AID. I do expect that the government will appeal. Trump administration will appeal. Whether this goes to the Supreme Court or not, I don't know. If the Musk project of DOJ is going to go agency to agency and shut down things that are congressionally created and congressionally appropriated, I think it's highly likely that one of those cases will get to the Supreme Court.
Your group, as well as 19 state attorneys general, also sued the Treasury Department for granting DOJ access to confidential data. And just today, a federal judge has temporarily blocked political appointees and special government employees, including those at DOJ, from accessing that data. As I mentioned, we also have the birthright citizenship, which has also been temporarily paused. Tell us a little bit about how you read these initial first stage wins, if that's even the right word for it. What can you tell us about these temporary orders?
Well, they're all temporary, but hopefully they're going to be permanent and block these lawless efforts of the Trump-Musk administration. They're going to play out over time, and it's obvious that the administration is willing to take a lot of losses and assume that some stuff will get through. The other limitation we face is that even when we win, real destruction can be done. So AID is a decimated agency right now. If we get it back going again, it's not going to be the same place it was because of the harm that's been inflicted over just these few weeks. So they're going to do real damage in the best case scenario, but the lawsuits can make a real difference in blocking it. And in cases like birthright citizenship, I think they're going to shut down the administration's effort altogether.
We've just learned that Russell Vought, a Project 2025 architect, is now the director of the OMB. He's also the acting leader of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What do you think our viewers should know about him specifically now heading this agency?
Well, Russell Vought is a dangerous man inside the administration. He obviously doesn't have the profile of Elon Musk, but he's going to have the reach, seriousness, and aggressiveness and ruthlessness that Musk is already displaying. He describes himself as a Christian nationalist. He was one of the key authors of Project 2025. He helped lead the American First Policy Institute, which planned a lot of what's now happening in the Trump administration. He announced that his purpose was to make federal workers feel intimidated and hated. So he is an aggressive, radical extremist pursuing a Christian nationalist mission. He's going to go to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and very, very likely try to shut the agency down. I think he's going to fail. Again, that's a congressionally created agency with its own independent appropriations. It's not a choice whether it exists or doesn't exist. And I think what's going to be important about that fight is it's going to make very clear who's on whose side. We're hearing a lot about the populist administration, so-called, of Donald Trump. Well, they're right on target right now to close down the most effective consumer protection agency that we've seen in the last 50 years that has saved consumers $20 billion, that's cracking down on everything from big banks to predatory lenders. And he's going to go to bat for them and against everyday people. And we're going to have to tell that story and then beat him in the courts.
Robert Weissman, I greatly appreciate your time and your insights. Look forward to having, unfortunately, I look forward to having more of these conversations with you as we track all of these different developments and legal cases as they wind their way through our court system. Thank you so much.
Well, we're going to be here. Thanks so much.